Just tell me. I'll fucking suck your dick, please. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit.
The Boys is over. 5 seasons, 7 years, one of the most talked about shows on television, and it's done. And I really wanted to love the ending. I genuinely did. This show, at its peak, seasons 1 through 3, was some of the sharpest, most brutally entertaining television I've ever watched. And after everything that built up across 5 seasons, after all the hype and all the promises from the creators, after waiting to watch Homelander finally get what's coming to him, the series finale aired on May 20th, 2026, and the internet promptly lost its mind. Not in the good way. Within hours, fans were calling it one of the worst series finales in recent memory. The cast was quietly liking negative tweets about their own show. The showrunner was already on the defensive before the credits finished rolling. And I sat there watching it thinking, yeah, I kind of see what everyone's talking about. So today, full spoilers, we're breaking down why The Boys finale fell flat, what it got wrong, what it actually got right, and why a show this good ended with so many people feeling so empty.
Before we get into the problems, let me briefly run you through what actually went down in Blood and Bone, because some of this is genuinely interesting on paper. The episode opens in the aftermath of Frenchie's death, which happened in the penultimate episode. The team is shattered, Kimiko is barely functional, and the mission to take down Homelander is essentially running on grief and momentum. The big moment everyone was waiting for comes about halfway through the runtime, and I mean exactly halfway. Kimiko uses a newly inherited power, basically a version of Soldier Boy's depowering blast, which strips Homelander of his abilities and his newly acquired immortality. And then Butcher, in what is genuinely the most cathartic scene of the entire season, beats the living hell out of Homelander with a crowbar while he cries and begs for his life. It's everything you wanted. Antony Starr plays it perfectly. Homelander goes out not as a god, but as a terrified, pathetic man who never learned that his power was never actually him. Crowbar through the skull, done. And then the episode still has 30 minutes left, and that's where things start to unravel. Because after Homelander dies, Butcher decides to release a super-targeting virus that would kill every superhuman on the planet. His motivation? His dog Terror died. I'm not being flippant, that is genuinely what pushes him over the edge. Hughie tracks him down, they fight, and Hughie shoots Butcher to stop it. Butcher dies in Hughie's arms, telling him he never would have stopped. The epilogue shows most of the surviving characters moving on to some version of peace. Credits.
Okay, so here's the thing. None of the individual elements of this finale are bad. Homelander's death is great. The Hughie-Butcher confrontation is genuinely meaningful. The thematic idea that Butcher's obsession made him as dangerous as the monsters he fought is one of the show's best ideas. On paper, this is a coherent ending. So why does it feel so hollow? Let me break it down. Problem 1. Homelander dies in the middle of the episode. I don't mean this as a pacing note, I mean this as a structural problem. Homelander, the primary villain of the entire show, the most compelling character in it, the reason most people kept watching, is dead 40 minutes into the final episode. That means the climax of a 7-year story is the midpoint of the finale. Everything after feels like an extended epilogue. There's no second act tension to replace him. The virus plot feels rushed and emotionally thin compared to the weight of everything that came before. You walk out of the main event and get sent to the gift shop. Problem 2. Butcher's final arc doesn't earn its ending. Butcher deciding to go full soup genocide is supposed to be the dark mirror of the entire show, the man who became the monster. And look, I get it, thematically it tracks, but the specific trigger? His dog dying? After everything this character has been through, losing his wife, losing his team members, losing his own humanity over 5 seasons, the thing that finally pushes him over the edge is the dog? There's no build-up, no gradual unraveling that feels proportional to the action it causes. Even Ryan tells Butcher, to his face, that Homelander being evil doesn't automatically make Butcher a good person. That's a powerful line. But the show needed to spend more time making us feel Butcher's corruption, rather than just telling us about it in the final episode.
Problem 3. The matchups we were promised never happened. Think about how many fights and confrontations the show teased all season that just didn't materialize. No proper Homelander versus anyone that felt like a real clash of equals. No Sister Sage getting a satisfying conclusion. No Soldier Boy payoff. He was set up at the end of Season 4 as a major piece on the board and then handled off to the side. Fans spent years theorizing about these confrontations, and the finale sidestepped almost all of them. That's not subverting expectations, that's just not delivering. Problem 4. The season's political satire exhausted the audience before we even got here. This is a broader Season 5 problem that the finale inherited. The Boys has always used real-world politics as a backdrop, and it worked brilliantly in Seasons 1 through 3 because it felt pointed and specific. But Season 5 leaned so hard into political allegory that it started to feel less like satire and more like a checklist. By the time the finale aired, a significant portion of the audience was fatigued. They'd been watching this show process politics for years, and they were ready for a story resolution, not another metaphor. The finale tried to do both and ended up fully satisfying neither. Problem 5. The epilogue was too tidy. The Boys built its entire identity on a refusal to give you comfort. This was a show that killed beloved characters without warning, that told you repeatedly that systems are corrupt and good intentions aren't enough, and happy endings are naive. And then, in the final 10 minutes, almost everyone gets a peaceful resolution. Hughie gets his quiet life, Starlight gets her future, everyone gets some version of okay. For a show that spent 5 seasons arguing that nothing gets fixed, a genuinely happy ending feels less like earned closure and more like the writers blinking first. Now look, I don't want this to be a pure takedown, because there are things the finale did genuinely well, and they deserve recognition. Antony Starr, full stop. The man has been the spine of this show since day one, and he does not put a single foot wrong in the finale. The moment Homelander realizes he's powerless and mortal, the way he transforms from a god into a frightened child in about 3 seconds of screen time is an extraordinary piece of acting. If you watch nothing else in the finale, watch that scene. It retroactively justifies everything the show ever did with that character. Karl Urban also deserves enormous credit. Butcher's arc this season has been the most emotionally complex thing in the show, and Urban carries it entirely on performance. The scene where Ryan tells him that Homelander being evil doesn't make him good, Urban's reaction to that, the way it lands, that's the beating heart of what the show was always trying to say. And thematically, the idea of Hughie having to kill Butcher is exactly right. It's the show's thesis made literal. The corruption of good intentions is just as dangerous as the evil they were meant to fight. If the season had built to that moment with more care, it could have been devastating in the best possible way. The idea was there, the execution just wasn't.
Here's where I land on all of this. The Boys Season 5 finale is not the disaster some people are calling it. It's not a Game of Thrones Season 8 situation where you feel genuinely betrayed. But it's also not the ending this show deserved. It's the ending of a show that ran out of runway before it ran out of story. A show that spent so much of its final season on political commentary that it didn't leave enough space for the character work. A show whose ambitions couldn't quite fit into the box they built for themselves. The Boys at its best was a genuinely special piece of television. Seasons 1 through 3 are as good as anything that's aired in the past decade. And that legacy isn't erased by a messy finale. But it's okay to hold both things at the same time, to appreciate what the show was while being honest about how it ended. Did it disappoint you? What do you think of the finale? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land on this one. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a subscribe helps the channel more than you'd think. And I'll see you in the next one.